Thanks so much for staying with us. And of course, it's a wonderful Wednesday. A bit wet in some parts of the capital, but it's all good. Trust you're all doing well, and we trust that you're enjoying the show so far. Yeah, the women are taking over this morning. Maybe I should have asked another lady on the team to just come and take over this interview as well. But I know last night was just amazing. The electricity in that game that was played last night was just amazing. And Turkey eventually overcoming that very, very tough challenge that they got from Austria to make it through to the next stage of the Euros. That just tells you that there is so much going on. And of course, England have had the WAGs, WAGs' wives and girlfriends, come over to the camp and also, spend time with the team ahead of their next game. Bonding and family is very important. You remember Germany did a similar thing en route to winning the 2014 FIFA World Cup. I'm not saying England are winning, but we'll continue all of those conversations at 11 a.m. today when we bring you Euro Today. Right now, however, we would want to have a conversation about infrastructure development and how it's all fitting into the bigger framework of sports development in the country. Well, the Trust Sports Emporium, also known as the Bukom Boxing Arena, is one very key establishment by government, which is giving a lot in terms of options. And it has been at the forefront of especially, promoting boxing and developing it. Well, the managing director of the Trust Sports Emporium is my guest this morning as we discuss, the role of infrastructure in ensuring that our sports development agenda, is moved at a faster pace. You do remember as well that just a couple of months ago we hosted the African Games, and infrastructure was a very big element. The University of Ghana Stadium being refurbished and the new complex at Borteman as well. Well, so thank you very much, Shirley. Shirley Acquaah-Harrison is the Managing Director of the Trust Sports Emporium. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Well, great. What's with the all white? Is there?
We have a program at the office today.
I see.
Some Wednesdays are Dapper Wednesdays.
Okay, very well. So I have a white shirt. Maybe I should go and look for some white pants to get this going.
White is the mark of integrity. So.
Look, we've been seeing loads and loads of activity, especially with boxing and the construction of the Bukom Boxing Arena within the biggest complex of the Emporium is one that has helped boxing development greatly. And we've been talking about how your edifice should be replicated in other parts of the country.
I believe so, because if you look around, try and just Google for sports infrastructure in Ghana, all you see is stadia, which is more football. So you see that outside Accra, a lot of the focus is only on football. But there have been a few promoters who have tried to hold boxing outside Accra in Kumasi, and they resort to using maybe hotel lobbies or those kind of things to do the boxing match. But what I think is that we need to replicate this thing elsewhere. Because back in secondary school, we had some very good athletes. Most of these people were not coming from Accra. They were coming from the hinterland. So there's so much talent to be honed. But because they do not have the facilities, because even in Accra, some of the facilities are there, some are run down, and the ones that are not run down, you need money to maintain it. So once that isn't happening, the sportsmen don't also have the money to do it. So I think the government needs to focus on building infrastructure for other sporting activities besides football. Because with where I am, and I'm a crazy football fan, so it's not like I have something against football, but with where I sit, I see a lot of potential in other lesser funded sports that if we should focus on can give us a lot of laurels as a country. So I think that these kind of infrastructure should be replicated in other towns, maybe some major towns where they can make it easier for people around that area to have access to be able to train.
I remember very well that, the Bukom Emporium, the Trust Emporium hosted some of the disciplines at the African Games. I remember judo. I remember boxing as well. Of course, boxing had to be at there, and mixed martial art. And
taekwondo.
That must have been something else because you had to do a bit of work to, do some quick refurbishment to get the competition going.
Yes. Unfortunately, by virtue of where we are situated, which is close to the sea, we can't keep our hands off the facility. Otherwise, it will run down faster than Isipong has run down. So we had to do some refurbishment, the changing rooms for the boxing arena, the Gamashi Hall also, which was used for the competition. And we had to even try to do some covering for the arena itself, because you know, by international standards, wherever they have the boxing competition has to be covered. But we tried to do that on it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out too well, because every time we finished, there was some strong wind that damaged it. But that's something we are looking at actually doing going forward, to try and have some form of collapsible covering, because usually those who come to watch the boxing, I don't think will even enjoy it if it's covered. They would prefer the fresh air. Yes, so they can. So we are looking at having it covered so that when there's the need to open, it can be opened.
Last weekend, for instance, we had a blockbuster bout. I mean, Freezy McBones was on the bill. There was a big grudge fight, the national title fight, and the place was full. Is this? Do you sometimes feel that the 5,000-seater capacity is, because I've had a few days when, I mean, I've stood there in the center of the ring. I've looked around and I'm saying, look, we need to either add to the numbers in the stands or something. Yes, so
it's currently, with the way the facility is, it's difficult to add something to the stand.
Okay.
Because it's actually a multi-purpose facility.
Okay.
So if you look on the floor, it has markings for basketball, volley, etc. So in the floor itself, it's difficult. So what we are looking at going forward is that if there's such a fight, then probably we need to employ the use of LED screens on the forecourt, which is just next to the arena.
I see.
I don't know if I can show it here.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, here, on the forecourt.
I see.
So that people can sit there and see what is happening.
Look, Ghana is positioning itself gradually for sports tourism, and the facility that you manage then plays a very big role in this. You're saying that you've seen potential, but let's also quickly look at the business side of it before we wrap up the conversation. How profitable would it be, because these funds are all coming from government. How profitable would it be to have this kind of facility maybe in the middle belt, maybe somewhere in a Kumasi or something, added to this one? I mean, what does the nation stand to gain?
Okay, so what I believe is that once we have that facility there, then it stands to reason that we can train people from there. The only problem I have is that people have this mentality that once it's for government, you can use it for free.
I was coming to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which isn't the situation, because we need money to maintain the place.
Okay.
And for our place, for instance, it's actually a facility that was put together by SNET.
Yes.
And we run the place with internally generated funds. So if we are going to give the place for free, then it's going to run down and there will not be the facility.
Okay, so, example, the national swimming team cannot use the place for free. The boxing team cannot use the place for free.
No.
Okay. But in recent times, have you had the teams come to camp over there? Because I know you have accommodation facilities there as well.
Yes, the boxing team came to camp just before they went for their last Olympic qualifier.
Have they paid for it?
Well, we gave to them for free.
Why?
Because we have plans of developing boxing. So we actually are starting a boxing league with the Ghana Boxing Federation.
Yes.
Because that focuses on the amateurs.
Yes, sure.
So we have plans to promote boxing in that regard. Because what we realized during the Africa Games, of course, boxing was very big at our place. We realized that a lot of the boxers themselves and the fans didn't quite understand some of the rules.
Very well.
So that is what we want to focus on, so that people understand what the rules are.
So this then means that boxing is a major project for the Sports Emporium.
Yes.
Where there is a likelihood that we may see a lot more of this in the future, where they can come in and come for free. So what about the other, other disciplines? For instance, the Bukom International Pool used to be the only World Aquatics rated Olympic-sized, swimming pool. Now we have the Boteman Sport, aquatic complex. So then now it becomes two. So what if the swimming team also comes and says, look, we need, because you see, the truth of the matter is that you know it already. You know it, more than everybody else, that the national teams struggle.
Exactly. Okay, so what it is we've actually outlined 4 main sports that we want to push.
Okay.
That's boxing, swimming, basketball, and table tennis.
Okay. I'm sure I'm sure the executives of the associations are saying, oh, hallelujah to that.
These are the ones we want to push.
Okay.
So we've actually put plans in place for some competitions to start in that regard as well. However, we would need support from corporate Ghana.
Very well.
Because if we want to do this, to build sports people who are going to represent the country in future, we can't do it for free because we need to maintain the place. I mean, you know the size of the pool.
Yeah.
Cleaning the pool alone
is a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are some.
And you've got staff to pay as well.
We've got staff to pay. Not easy.
Yeah.
So we try to do that, and we try to help people become healthy generally. Because we have a gym.
Therapy centers.
We have a physiotherapy center, we have a gym, we have a massage parlor as well. So there's this thing that we also do, which is a wellness festival, which is open to everybody and it's free. Okay. You don't need to pay to come. Just come in once a month, do your aerobics. There's a health talk. We serve some fruits. Sometimes people want us to serve wache and kenke, but this is a healthy event.
My director, Sarah, says she will be there, especially after hearing the wache element.
Everyone is welcome. I mean, it's for free. And then you have the professionals to ask any question you want, because the physiotherapist is there, the dietitian is there. So if you have any questions, and there are some doctors as well from Kolebu who come around. So you can ask any of the questions that you want concerning your health.
There are a couple of sports disciplines in the country whose national teams are going to get a special dispensation because of the direction of the Trust Sports Emporium. This is amazing news. So this morning, I'm very sure that your phone is going to be buzzing. The presidents of the Swimming Federation, of course, boxing is already in there. Boxing, swimming, table tennis, basketball, table tennis.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Mr. Acquaah-Harrison, you know who to call, right? The next campaign is on the house. I mean, in wrapping up the conversation, you've put all of these in place. Now, supposing, I mean, in the unlikely instance that the support doesn't come in, the corporate support doesn't come in the way it is, how then are you planning to buffer yourselves, I mean, financially? Because like you've mentioned, and like we all know, all of this, if you are putting these, there at the doorstep of all these associations, 4 of them for various programs, is going to cost money.
Yeah, it's going to cost money. We are hoping that corporate Ghana comes through, but if corporate Ghana doesn't come through, there are other activities that we have planned that we can use to help support, although it will not be enough. So we are hopeful that corporate Ghana. Okay, I mean, we've started speaking with a few companies. Very well. Some have expressed interest, so we hope to throw the net wider to get in more
Great stuff. Good to know, because, the issue of the national teams is something we've been hammering on over and over again, and tournament in, tournament out, there is this thing where, they sometimes just have to sit back and throw their hands in the air. It's a very terrible situation. I'm glad that this is coming up. Well, in wrapping up, we're looking at, we're just about wrapping up the year. We're halfway through the year. What then will be the plan? I mean, you've mentioned the Wellness Festival. What then should we expect from this facility and its place within the sports development agenda of the nation going forward?
Okay, so the boxing league I mentioned with the federation is starting in September.
Wow, great.
So you see that happening. And the good thing is that the professionals are also starting their boxing league in July. So there'll be a lot of boxing going on there. Yes. Well. And then the basketball, we are looking at October. The table tennis, we're also looking at October. There's the swimming that we are not too sure if it will be this year, because getting close to election, the focus changes. So we don't want to be doing things quite close to elections. That's November, December. So probably for the swimming, it will be next year. But with the table tennis, basketball, and the boxing, it's going to be this year. And it will be like a league form. So every other weekend, there'll be something happening.
I'm sure there are loads of people who are also watching and are looking forward to probably coming to partner you for all of these, especially as you are positioning yourself for a lot of social responsibility, which is that you're placing this for the national good and the national interest. Yeah. Your offices are open. You have contact platforms that people can.
Yes. We are very open. Now it looks like my personal number has even become a number out there that anybody calls. So I don't mind giving my personal number for anyone who wants to call and support us, because we really do need the support. Because I have been a sports person all my life. And I love sports and I love to build sports. So I hope there are like-minded people like me who would be willing to come in to support us. So we are on Facebook, Trust Sports Emporium. We are on Instagram, on Twitter. We are on LinkedIn as well. And our website is www.trustsportsemporium.com. And then if you want to call as well, you can call my 0244-625-838 if you want support.
I have one of my show directors. Today, he's not at work. I'm very sure that he would have, picked it and taken you out for dinner later. He wouldn't want to do any sports stuff. Anyway, that's just by the way. But Shirley, thank you so much. I'm glad at seeing that. And finally, positioning this for international events. I mean, we've seen the African Games. We saw how well it all went. I still have images on my phone. It was very colorful. It went successfully. But the Bukom International Pool, after the Kana West African qualifiers, we haven't seen anything happen. What's the plan, to position it for, and all the other facilities for such international events? Because it's...
Okay, we have been talking to some of the association presidents to see what we can bring in. And Malco, for instance, has been very supportive in that regard. We also tried doing something with basketball, as I mentioned, and even badminton, events, Yeboah. We've tried to do a couple of these things, but sometimes they also need to put in some
bits
to get it to happen. But we are open for all international, because all the facilities there are international standard facilities. Yes,
and they're all functional.
Yeah, okay. We are doing a renovation on the pool.
Okay.
I'm hoping that in maximum 2 months' time, it should be finished and we can start. But apart from the pool, all the other facilities.
Come again with the readiness of the pool. When would it be ready for competition?
About 2 months.
In 2 months.
Maximum 3 months' time.
3 months' time. Okay. All right. Now, what is the plan with the pool? I mean, we know that the national team trains there. We have loads of competitions, formal competitions. Is it something that has also individual membership where people just come in and are...
That's something we are hoping to start after the renovation, because this is a purely Olympic, it's a competition pool.
Oh, exactly.
So it does not have the shallow end. It's just all 9 feet deep.
Very well.
So you need to know how to swim to be able to get in there. Otherwise, you find yourself drowning.
Yeah.
But we are trying to do that. We've actually spoken with a few of the associations, even Ghana Polo,
Water
Polo Association as well. We've spoken to them. We've spoken to is it Ralph to see if we can start something like a club, because we've already started a table tennis club. We've started a badminton club, and we are starting a judo club soon and karate as well. So we want to start a swimming club as well, and we are hoping that goes through, because there are some competitions that I believe if we put our focus and energy on will help, as I said. And a lot of these young boys that swim around Jamestown, if we get them to train them, could represent us. I mean, this is something that we are looking up to. So as I always go back to saying, corporate Ghana, to help us to make their lives worthwhile.
Well, interesting stuff there. Shirley, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time this morning. Shirley Acquaah-Harrison is the Managing Director of the Trust Sports Emporium. For those of you who, like my face and my personality, my relationship here. That one is my favorite space, the boxing arena there. that is my favorite space because, you know, stuff happens there a lot, you know, and I just love the atmosphere when it's all filled and, you know, the fights are going well. So we've been talking about, you know, sports infrastructure and its place within the bigger sports development mix here in Ghana. And it's becoming very obvious that we need infrastructure like this in different parts of the country. I love the bit about the swimming because I've seen kids in the Choco area who use regular, you know, plywood to surf.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So we'll see how all of that goes. Thank you so much, and we'll pay you guys a visit over there soon. Yeah. And congratulations. I'm glad that you're doing a lot of social responsibility for these national teams. You know, look, it's a whole conversation, and we're going to be having some more of these as we go along. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So Shirley Acquaah-Harrison, wrapping it up here. On sports on Prime Morning. A lot more to come. Remember, I'll be on your television set later in the morning as we discuss the drama from last night, that electrifying game, you know, in the evening between Turkey and Austria. Who goes and who remains? Well, that's a very big question. We're answering it as we go along. You stay right here. Prime Morning continues. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and I have love for sport.